You are tuned to the Witching Hours, and I'm your host, Kanaska Carter. On tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about, it's quite a famous story now that I keep hearing about, this man from Taured, the mystery man from Taured. And how it goes is in 1954, this man was traveling to Tokyo, and when he got to Japan, he went to customs just like all the other passengers, and they started to question him. He was a well-dressed man, and apparently he was there on a business trip. So they were asking where he was from, and he said that this was his third time that year being in Japan on a business trip. So all was going well until they asked where he came from. And he said he came from Taured, located in between France and Spain, and Andorra is actually located in between France and Spain, and allegedly no country exists with this name. So I did some research, and there's a place called the Republic of Taured, and it's just an island off the coast of Ireland. So I'm curious if they just didn't know about this place. Is that what's going on? The theory is, okay, so here's the story. I'll finish the story first and then I'll get into the theories. So they questioned him. The passport had multiple stamps saying he was from there. And then they put him into a locked hotel room, allegedly. And what ended up happening was he disappeared the next morning. And all of his documents also disappeared. So this is the story, whether it's true or not. So the theories are that he came from a parallel universe, and he ended up going back to his dimension, or going back to his universe overnight, or something like that. So it just it makes me wonder what is going on there. Apparently some people on Reddit figured out the mystery of the mystery man from Taured. They said they had translated some old newspapers saying that the guy ended up being arrested and went to jail for a year. And somebody else said that a very similar story, that he was tried for his crime, like he was a con man as opposed to a time traveler. Now, whether or not the people on Reddit are telling the truth, that remains to be seen. But I did see that in another video, and he was talking about how people on Reddit had supposedly cracked the code. So I did some research, and there is a place called the Republic of Taured off the coast of Ireland. And when you Google the word Taured, it shows up in various different places in that cluster of that cluster of land. Different points were showing up called Taured, and it says it's a tourist attraction. So I was thinking, okay, so is this something that was created after this story went viral for it to be a tourist attraction? Or was it a place that always existed and people just have the story mixed up? So if you're from Ireland and you see this, please let me know if you know when the Republic of Taured was created. There is another story of somebody named Carnelio closer. In September 1951, he would begin to disappear from closed rooms that were locked. The windows were locked, and he would reappear in other rooms. So he was able to go through the door, go through the walls, and he kept seeing this floating, like levitating girl who would appear, and they would walk together. And when she would appear, he said he would feel lighter and he would be able to go through walls and go through doors and stuff like that. And apparently the longest he had disappeared was 3 days. His parents sent him to some sort of mental institution. They said he was a healthy boy, returned him. So are we able to go to different universes and different parallel realities? I think so. I've seen many videos on TikTok of people talking about getting into car crashes, and then as soon as they hit a wall, they're back on the road, and little parts about their life have been altered or changed. So when they died, did they go to an alternate version of themselves, like an alternate universe? I've just seen so many videos of people saying it's either they're on the highway or some sort of a car crash happens, and then they somehow manage to escape and survive, but certain details about their life have changed. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like they've gone into an alternate version of who they are. The multiverse. And I've talked about quantum physics on this show before, and I've gone into how particles microscopically can be spread out spatially in up to 3,000 places at once. We can visually see it. And if we're made of these particles, who's to say we cannot exist in thousands of places, if not limitless places at once? So there was also another story of somebody named Miriam Golding, and she stepped out of an elevator. She was in Chicago. And when she stepped out of an elevator, she was in another plane of existence. Instead of being in a music store, she was at a railroad. She was not in a downtown music store. So she approached people, but it seemed like they couldn't see her until she saw this one person. And he said, I guess they let you off at the wrong stop too. And then she had seen her fiance's sister on this beach or something. She went into the water to try to get her, and she recognized her. She saw her, but she couldn't reach her. So they gave up and came back to shore. And then when she looked up, they disappeared. And then what happened after that was, it was like she was enveloped in darkness, floating through space, and then she was somehow back in the music store magically. So she was back in the music store, and it was closing time. She could hear people saying about how the music store was going to close. She couldn't find her fiance, so she just decided to go home, and apparently he was worried. He looked for her, couldn't find her, so he went home. And then his sister was there, and she said that she had seen her with her fiance. So even though she was in an alternate dimension or an alternate universe, she was still able to make contact with the other universe where she had come from. It's weird. Like, they saw each other, but they saw each other in different ways. So in the alternate universe, she saw her on a sandbar with her friends. And in the universe that she came from, she saw her in the downtown street of Chicago. Very, very strange. And the teenager that she saw at the railroad station was from Lincoln, Nebraska. And he had been playing tennis in Lincoln, Nebraska. And when he came out he was at the train station. So is this truth? Is it actually a case of a parallel universe? So I had a similar experience that I feel is related to this. I was with 3 other people and got on an elevator. We were on the 7th floor, pressed for the 1st floor. It went up a floor to number 8. We got out and we were in the basement, and there was people in white hazmat suits. It made no sense. It was like some sort of a glitch. There's no way we could have gone down like 7 or 8 floors in like 2 seconds. Felt like some sort of a glitch in reality. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about parallel universes. I really believe when it comes to even just quantum physics, we exist in multiple places at once. I do believe that there are many versions of us existing side by side or in different areas of the universe. I think until we observe it, then it goes to one fixed point. And until it is observed, it can exist in many places at once. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'm going to be posting another episode this week. The goal is to get 3 episodes out this week so I can get caught up, because I did miss 2 weeks of shows when my cat died 2 Sundays ago. So I'll be posting 1 more episode this week. This is the second one if you haven't checked out the other episode on underwater portals and the death of Mike Degree. That is on YouTube and TikTok right now. So I love you guys, and I will see you at the next episode. Have a great night. I'm your host, Kanaska Carter, for another episode of The Witching Hours.